So I've been building a couple of flower beds here. That's 12 by 12 by 10, 12 inches by 12, I'm sorry, 2 by 12 by 10, 2 inches by 12 inches by 10 feet pressure treated lumber. I use the stake method, pretty simple. So it's going to be about a 10-inch deep because I'll be a few inches from the top once I get the rest of the mulch and stuff in here. Flower bed. I added 6 drippers. They're movable. Obviously I can take these and put them anywhere I want throughout the flower bed. And then my second one, just an experiment, I grabbed a few of my tomato plants and put them inside this. I have to use the cages because the rabbits come out here and eat our vegetables. So, they'll eat anything, any vegetation. So for now, I decided to put a couple of tomato plants out here, my weakest ones, because if they pass away, since it's not that hot, it looks a little sunny today, but it's only about 65 to 70 degrees during the day. Gets down to about 45 at night still. So these may not make it. Last night it was 44 degrees and they made it the first night, but I wanted to give you an idea of what I'm doing. I'll end up putting the rest of the panels around this one once I decide on what I'm going to put in. Those are easy to put up. They interlock together. That's exactly 3 by 9 by 3 so that I can use those panels. Now that I look at it, I'm probably going to need another panel because 1, 2, 3, 4, I need 5 and I only have 4 left since I used 4 in that one. So looks like my math was a little bit wrong here. Anyway, just thinking out loud. So I'll give you an update on the peppers inside later, but I just wanted to show you what I was working on. And then my wife asked me, I know it's real muddy because we had a lot of rain. My wife asked me to put in the same kind of deal along this side so that she could put her plants and flowers in there. And in a few months, my next project is to clean up this mess. I'm gonna build a gate around this pool equipment. That's my pool back there. I'm doing a little pruning, but I'm going to pretty much do the same method here. Probably another one, a smaller one right here in between that box and here. And then, like I said, I'll fence in this whole area right here. I'll see you in a minute when I do my update on the inside. Thanks. So here's the herbs again. I've got my oregano and my thyme and my crazy basil. I actually took about 8 basil plants out of there that were the smallest ones and put them outside. But I'm going to leave these in here for another couple of weeks, like I said, and we'll go from there. I topped all of my sweet pepper plants. I've decided they were already putting out buds and I didn't want them to go to budding, so I topped them all. That way I wouldn't have to, I want them to thicken up and get taller. So anyway, they got lots of side shoots after I did that. You can clearly see that topping does effectively promote thicker stalks and side shoots. So I'm happy with those. And of course that mystery tomato plant. I'm pretty positive now that it's a tomato plant. I mean, all signs point to saying that it is. We'll have to see what kind it is because I have no idea what it could be. Serrano peppers are doing really well. I've got quite a few. I will be trimming all those off before it goes outside in the next couple of weeks. Not going to harvest those today. The Jwala Fingers, I topped this one a lot. These have a lot of small ones. I'm not going to do anything with that today, but I do plan on taking the majority of these Jwala Fingers off that one because that one's going to go outside in a few weeks as well, and I want to see what happens if I cut all the fruits off, cut all the extra flower buds, and see if I can get a bigger plant out of that. Okay, here's my red potatoes. I've literally almost filled this thing all the way to the top. They just keep growing like crazy. I think I originally said I was going to put this in a bin. I'm not sure putting it in a bin is going to do what I want it to do. But for now, I'm going to leave it in this. And I think in the next week, I'm just going to put it outside in one of those beds because if I need to split this to get it out, I don't want to turn it over and dump it and have all the roots break. I might just split this on both sides and pull it apart and then put that in the ground and see how that works. I'm not quite sure yet. Or I'll put it in a bigger bin and fill it with dirt. We'll have to figure that out. The tomato section is much better now that I got rid of some of those plants. And you can see the height of this tomato plant now. Last week it was below this and now it's above it. So it grew about 15 inches in a week. And anyway, it's 6 feet tall. That sucker's going outside probably next weekend. And then my grape tomatoes are down over here. And here's the peppers. My purple jalapenos have gone to fruit. As you can see, I have some purple jalapenos on there. So that's pretty cool. And some flowers. So they're doing really well. My other peppers, I've trimmed a lot of foliage off them and they just continue to grow up to the roof here. So I'm going to probably take this New Mexico Big Jim. There's a chocolate habanero back there that I had trimmed quite a bit. And an orange Scotch bonnet right there that's really tiny because that's the one that had the disease. So those three will go outside. I have 3 of each of those plants, so those 3 will go outside next weekend for sure. I planted all of my bigger plants finally into 1 gallon. Yeah, I got a heart on that one because this is one of my favorite Tasmanian plants. All of my bigger pepper plants into the 1 gallon. You can kind of see, and that's my Fresno pepper back there. I took 2 Fresno peppers off this last week. I'm going to pull this plant out and take the final 2 plants off it. My fingers are dirty from working in the garden. I apologize. I'm going to take 2 of those off there today and not worry about those anymore. And look at how crazy big my New Mexico Big Jim peppers are getting. They're already 4 inches or so in a week. So I know these get 10 to 12 inches, but I mean, that's already a big pepper. It actually is so big, this top one hasn't even done anything because those 2 are sucking all the nutrients out of it. And it's such a small plant. Really, it's about between the 6-inch pot. The plant's probably only 8 inches tall. So I'm going to have to work on that. My other Fresno pepper plant has already got 4 big fruits and a bunch of other fruits. So I'm probably going to leave that one alone. But this one for sure, I'm going to trim those top 2 peppers off. I might take the other 4 small ones off. Yeah, you know what? I'm going to take the other 4 small ones off and see how that does indoors for the next week or so before it goes outside. And then my other New Mexico Big Jim plant is starting to get flowers. This is the one I topped and it's done pretty well. So topping has helped. The Tasmanians are getting flowers. The red Savina's getting flower buds. The orange Scotch bonnet's getting flower buds. They're all getting flower buds. So I'm running out of space. And so let's see, did I forget anything else? You know, obviously my basil propagation back there is finally doing really well. It's kind of a moot point. I just wanted to prove that I could propagate something because, again, with all these basils up here, why would I really? And I've probably eaten 5 times this many basil over the last 3 weeks. I've had basil pizza. I put it on my chicken. I put it in my rice. I mean, I think I've eaten it raw. Hell, I could even use it as breath freshener, I think. So it's got so many of it, but anyway, or so much of it. Anyway, I think that's pretty much my update. I'm not pulling the plants out yet. I will pull out the Fresno pepper and the Jwala Finger pepper, and I'll show a quick clip on how many peppers I took off those. So I'll be right back. All right, here we go. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 more Jwala Finger peppers, which now puts the grand total to 13 peppers produced on that. And I'm going to leave a couple. I've got 1, 2 big ones and a few small ones to see if I can See how much faster they produce. These have stopped growing, so I'm thinking that if I leave them on, I want to see if trimming all those off promotes faster maturing of those. If they don't do anything in 2 or 3 days, I'm going to trim the rest of them off. And then on my Fresno pepper, I trimmed off the 2 big peppers. Same thing, I'm going to leave those 4 on for now, and possibly I might trim them off in a couple of days if nothing happens. So that's my update this week. I will see you all in another week. Thanks.